evening and welcome back to TUTV after a 2-week break. I'm Hunter Lynn.
I'm Aristotle Orsini.
And, well, a lot happened since we were on the air. We got some, 5 inches of snow, then it all melted and now it's 75 odd degrees outside.
Yeah, when just 6 days ago it was snowing and basically a blizzard. Odd stuff.
I love climate change because I am also a deeply unpredictable person. So the fact that the weather mirrors my behavior makes me happy, but my therapist not so much.
I love climate change because I don't believe in it.
Well, you're dressed as if you don't believe in it.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't really know what that means. Blue suit. You're a congressperson.
That's fair.
You're going to go strike down the Paris Accords.
Drill, baby, drill.
There you go. We are in Oklahoma, after all. Speaking of international resolutions, the United Nations, Ukraine, the U.S. writes a bill, France makes amendments, U.S. votes it down, essentially siding with Russia on a resolution condemning Russian aggression in Ukraine. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not surprised. We saw a first term from our president. We saw his alignments there. I mean, it's not any surprise that he hasn't changed.
It is. And one can only wonder what he and his crew, his gang, his troop, his clique will get up to in the next 3 2/3 odd years of presidency.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Maybe something new will happen by the time we come back to at the end of the show.
Stick around to find out if thunderstorms are really UFOs.
And welcome to the desk. I'm Joe McCurdy.
And I'm Anderson Bell.
We've got some really exciting news for you this week, so let's hop right into it.
Senior officials from the United States and Russia met this week in Saudi Arabia to attempt to negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine. Donald Trump pushed for a quick end to the war, according to Reuters. Ukrainian envoys were not present at the meeting. In response to the planned meeting, French President Emmanuel Macron gathered European leaders in Paris to discuss increased defense spending, as Europe looks to integrate its militaries into an effective fighting force. Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, while visiting Europe 2 weeks ago, made it clear that the U.S.-Europe relationship will change during the Trump presidency. Vance said during a speech in Munich that Europe's biggest threat was from within, not Russia or China. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky refused to send diplomats to the U.S.-Russia talks, asserting that his country would not meet face-to-face with Russia until a plan for a, quote, just peace was decided on. Whether such a peace will be made remains to be seen. The Russian invasion of Ukraine reached its 3rd anniversary on Monday.
The Rwanda-supported M23 rebel group has made new advances in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in the past weeks. Over the weekend, M23 occupied the city of Bukavu, home to over 1 million people. So far, the Dominican Republic of the Congo has failed to provide much resistance against M23, which has been agitating in the region for years. The rebel group's recent advances have sent soldiers fleeing conflict zones. Many civilians have claimed that the group's apparent popularity in the cities it occupies is based on fear and lack of other authority, per the Associated Press. M23 is not alone in contesting the eastern DR Congo. The region is among the most mineral-rich on Earth, and more than 100 armed groups are vying for control, according to the AP. M23 now controls several important gold and rare earth mines, as well as several mining towns. The World Food Program has condemned looting in the city of Bukavu, stating that 7,000 metric tons of humanitarian supplies have been stolen since M23 occupied the city. According to the United Nations, more than 100,000 people have been displaced in the eastern DR Congo.
Tulsa students went to the polls last week to elect their Student Government Association senators and executives. 18 students ran for Senate seats, although only 2 races were contested by multiple candidates. In the executive elections, incumbent President Michael Combs lost a challenge from committee chair Katie Jo Ransom, 409 votes to 289. Beckham Shell was elected vice president over Holden Caldwell by a margin of just 5 votes, 340 to 335. Ella Calvert was elected secretary and Giovanni Sanchez was elected treasurer. Both ran unopposed. The SGA's new constitution was accepted with a 529 to 103 vote. It will now move to the Board of Trustees to be ratified. The upcoming term will pose several challenges for SGA, as newly elected officials will join incumbents to combat significant budget decreases from last year. With student organizations receiving only $8 a person, questions are being raised as to whether SGA should be allocating thousands of dollars a semester for executive salaries. In other campus news, Tulsa celebrated the renowned early medieval scholar and philosopher Boethius with a 2-day event on February 6th and 7th. The Boethius After 1500 Years conference featured lectures from visiting scholars and 3 UTulsa students, Abby Fakuri, Jaden Fording, and Paul Eisterhold. 2025 Distinguished Visiting Artist Margaret Curtis's exhibition And Then is on display at the Alexander Hogue Gallery in Phillips Hall. From now through March 6th, students can view the renowned artist's paintings exploring feminism, climate change, anxiety, and more.
Tensions between the U.S. and Canada were on display last week during the Four Nations Face-Off, an international ice hockey tournament. The tournament, which replaced the NHL All-Star Game this year and featured exclusively NHL players, heated up in the first round, fueled by back-and-forth rhetoric between Trump and Trudeau administrations. During the first U.S.-Canada match held in Montreal, fans booed the American national anthem and multiple fights broke out on the ice as soon as play started. The U.S. won the game 3-1 before dropping the rematch in the final, losing in 3-2 in overtime. Much of the tension in the tournament stemmed from U.S. President Donald Trump, who has made remarks about plans to annex Canada. Trump's proposed tariffs on Canadian goods prompted a snap meeting with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau earlier this month. For many of the players, the excitement and tension surrounding the event added to the fun. Teams U.S. and Canada wasted no time in giving the fans a show, fighting 3 times in the first 9 seconds of their opening match. Sweden and Finland, the other 2 participating countries, got to enjoy the spectacle.
Well, a lot of stuff going on in the world and on campus in this past few days.
Yeah, well, did you get a chance to catch the U.S.-Canada hockey match?
I did not get a chance to catch it, sadly, but, you know, seems like it was a good one.
I honestly, the last 20 minutes or so, the third period in overtime, was probably the most fun I've ever had watching hockey.
Really?
So it's always fun to watch 2 international powerhouses go at it.
For sure.
And, you know, we got a little political sprinkle in there.
Yeah.
So,
well, hockey's got ice, and you know what else got ice last week?
we did.
The University of Tulsa. And we got some footage from that. Got a good package to show you right here. Thank you. Tell me when you're rolling.
Rolling.
Christmas Story lied.
Can't get a full push. Can we get like a lick up the shaft?
Yeah, the Christmas Story lied. It doesn't stick.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it's
It did stick for a little bit there.
You
Hold
guys
on, let me try it again.
Pull an ice cube out of the freezer and like stick your tongue on it. It does the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe
The Christmas Story lied. The Christmas Story lied. It didn't actually stick.
Right here. Hey,
It did, bro.
we should knock it down. Well, this is Mr. Weather reporting live from the street pole. And I'm proud to report they aren't sticking yet, but we'll keep checking in every few hours to give you your tongue-sticking forecast only on TUTV. Let the camera.
Pat Mahomes who? Touchdown.
You get a shot of all of us laying down like we're suntanning by the pool. Yep, that sounds good.
What is up? What do you got there, Anderson?
a snowball, or a collection of snow.
This is probably our hot handheld, but I guess this is probably our not handheld.
Mr. Weatherman, hey, what is the weather forecast
really
for
cold,
today?
Man. Yeah, so about 15 degrees right now. Feels like -3, so I kind of can't feel anything that's exposed. This sucks a lot, but it's beautiful, you know, the view, and it's not stopping anytime soon. We're gonna get, I mean, probably another 5 inches on top of this, if we're being honest. It's not letting up.
I'm here with Tania, the president of S.A.V.E. at TU. Tania, thank you for joining us today.
Welcome.
Tell me a little bit about your club. What does S.A.V.E. do?
S.A.V.E. is used, well, we are the Student Alliance for Violence Education, and we're kind of here to advocate and promote education and awareness for domestic violence, interpersonal violence, sexual assault, sexual abuse, just any kind of violence.
All right, that's great. Do you have upcoming events anytime soon?
Yes, we have our Breaking Ground monologues coming up March 29th and the 30th, and we're using that to fundraise money for DIVIS so it can go to help families that may be experiencing any kind of domestic violence and to help them get any counseling or just get resheltered.
And what's going on at that event?
Well, basically, we just come, we have a group of girls just come out and just say a bunch of monologues. It usually lasts 3 hours, 3 hours long, and we have people buy tickets to come see it. So yeah, it's been an annual thing since, I don't know when, since I've been here.
Very cool. How should people join your club if they're interested, they want to, be a part of what you're doing?
Yeah. So I think the best way to join our club is to go to our Instagram, which is UTulsa_SAVE, and in our bio we have the link tree for our group me, and that's the best way to join.
What motivated you to join S.A.V.E. and become the president?
Honestly, I wasn't looking to become the president. I just wanted to be on the board because I had family members that may have been domestic violence themselves. So I just wanted to be a person to advocate for that and bring awareness to it.
That's great. Is there anything else you'd like to say, like a message S.A.V.E. has, anything you've done recently?
I would say be prepared for our Breaking Ground monologues and also look out for our Take Back the Night. It's going to be bigger and better than last year.
All right. Thank you very much, Tania. It was great getting to talk to you. We're going to throw it over to whatever's next now.
Swadika TUTV, it is Roma, and this is a very special video I got for you guys today because we went to Chiang Mai to visit an elephant sanctuary. Now, just for reference, this is a map of Thailand, and Chiang Mai is in the northern region. Beautiful, very traditional, and culturally rich with a lot of mountains surrounding it. And look at this guy. I think her name is Princess, if I'm not mistaken. There were about 6 that we were playing with and just hanging out with. Such a great time. The people were so kind. This was our instructor who was teaching us how to feed it. Sugar cane. Yes, sugar cane. And they're so loved. He was very kind and showed that they give a lot of care to the elephants. No animal abuse over there. But here, look at this elephant bathing. But you'll get to see another elephant bathing later. After we feed them these vitamin balls that we made, they were so happy. Look at them. They're so cute. And so yeah, all of us got in the water with the elephants and bathed them, and it was an amazing experience. But the next day, we went to a cooking class for Thai cuisines, and oh my goodness, was this food so good. we went around their garden, picked some fresh mint and basil and such. And the first dish we cooked was pad thai. And you know I love pad thai. So I was really dialed in to listening to this one. And the food was so good, but this is, the process of making it. It starts with garlic, and you add the chicken, and you add the vegetables, and lastly add the noodles and the egg and all of that fun stuff. This is me and my friend's pad thais completed. Oh, mine looks the best if we're gonna be honest, but was so good. And then we got to cook in some spring rolls, which were also very, very good. This is the process for it. I wish I had more. I only made one, but I asked if we could make more, and we couldn't. just me being big. So yeah, this is me finishing it. Very good, 10 out of 10. And then we started making the mango sticky rice, like the thing that goes on it. And then here is khao soy. Oh my gosh, I had never had khao soy before, but this is probably up there with the pad thai. I wouldn't quite say it's as good as pad thai, but that's another dish. Kind of forgot the name. And then last, mango sticky rice. So good. Never fails. 10 out of 10. Please try some if you guys get the chance. Or I can make you some when I come back home. Anyway, see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Back to the entertainment desk. We got some exciting stories today, so let's jump right into those. Before snow shut down our campus, the Student Government Association hosted the annual executive debate in the Great Hall of the Student Union. Candidates for a multitude of positions presented their plans and platforms to improve the TU student government. The main event of the evening was the debate between the presidential candidates, incumbent Michael Combs and Senator and Katie Jo Ransom, committee chair. After presenting their platform, each candidate fielded questions from the audience, questions generally focused on what they accomplished during their time in SGA. For Katie Jo and vice presidential candidate Beckham Shell, this debate paid off. SGA released the election results last Wednesday, showing that Beckham won his seat by just 5 votes, and Katie Jo won hers by a whopping 120 votes.
Duolingo mascot and beloved menace to society, Duo the Owl, died recently. While the cause of death is unclear, the company's social media initially alleged that, TBH, he probably died waiting for you to do your lesson, end quote, although they later stated that he passed after being hit by a Cybertruck. TikTok users, brands, and celebrities alike flooded Duolingo's social media account with condolences following the announcement, although some, like Buffalo Wild Wings, seemed to celebrate his death. The popular media owl was well known for striking fear into the hearts of every individual who forgot to do their Spanish lesson. His involvement with singer Dua Lipa led to her public sympathies and an Instagram comment writing, "Till death do us part." Duo died at the age of either 13 or 3,500. It is unclear at this time. Breaking news, TUTV has just received word that in a shocking turn of events, Duo the Owl has been resurrected. It seems all the extra lessons, streak extensions, and prayer circles worked, as Duo is now healthy and alive. Upon his return, the owl said, "Y'all really think I'd let a Cybertruck take me out?" and bragged that, quote, "legends never die." We pray for the safety of all those who skipped a lesson thinking the green bird can't get to them now, as well as their family.
This past Friday, the University of Tulsa hosted its annual Lunar New Year celebration. As always, the night was made possible by several collaborating student organizations. These organizations included the Vietnamese Student Association, Korean Student Association, Chinese Students and Scholars Association, and the Asian American Student Association. They were also supported by TU's Student Activity Board. The night was full of students and community members alike who enjoyed activities such as Vietnamese gambling, red envelope decorating, and calligraphy. Attendees also enjoyed several performances by TU students.
The TU calendar is packed with events this week. On Tuesday, today, the Association of Black Collegians is continuing their celebration of Black history and culture with their Soul Food Soiree, the annual lunch and dinner hosted at Pat Case, in which students have the chance to enjoy soul food and music. On Wednesday, the College of Arts and Sciences will host their weekly Snacks and Sips with the Arts and Sciences in Tyrrell Hall. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., students are welcome to grab some snacks and drinks from the first floor of Tyrrell to fuel them for the rest of the day. On Thursday, the University of Tulsa will continue its tradition of hosting debate participants. This semester, it's for the Eastern Oklahoma District qualifier for the state speech and debate tournament. Those interested in being judges for this tournament have the opportunity to do so by contacting TU Speech and Debate, known as @speech_debate_TU on Instagram. A big weekend entertainment, Lunar New Year, Duolingo the Owl died, and was resurrected, and we had the executive debate.
I mean,
what
really,
stuck out to you, Carter?
a roller coaster all along. You know what I mean?
real.
And here's the thing: I've never been a big Duolingo user. Have you? I mean, how does this? Do you have a personal attachment here?
I was for a little while, for like 2 weeks, and then got kind of scared of the notification, so I dropped off.
So, I mean, your lack of engagement could be part of why he died.
Could be part of why he died. Could
hard to
be
hear.
part of why he was resurrected. Who's to say? I don't know.
Congrats either way.
Yeah, thank you. But that's all for entertainment this week. Hopefully we'll have just as exciting of news for you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening and welcome to the Round Table. I'm Hunter Lynn, as always, joined today by Aristotle Orsini, Anderson Bell, and Carter Reed. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Good. Doing well.
I'm doing all right.
Excellent. Let's begin with our line of questions. First topic today is the Student Government Association and, of course, its most recent election. So we've got an incoming administration. We have a new vice president and a new president. How, if at all, will this new administration differ from the previous, and what changes should it make?
Well, I think I can speak as my position as a current sitting SGA senator in that, unfortunately, I feel like there's not really going to be a whole lot that's changed. Ultimately, a lot of the power in SGA lies in the individual senators in a number of ways. It's up to us to decide what to bring to committees, what to bring to the floor, all that. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm anticipating, maybe hoping for some positive change to happen. I've been on the Constituent Engagement Committee where Katie Joe, the incoming president, was the committee chair, ran stuff very efficiently, ran stuff well. So hopefully she can bring some of that to the rest of SGA at large. And I know the incoming Vice President Beckham personally as well, and I think he'll do a good job of keeping discussion focused and more efficient in the Senate body at large.
I agree. I think part of the issue that we see with, a lot of these administrations within SGA being kind of similar is the fact that they are limited from above just by administration. I know a lot of people have had frustration with funding, with organizations and the way SGA is allocating funds, but a lot of that they don't have much of a say on. So I'd like to see more independence within SGA, but I can't say I'm extremely optimistic for much change until things make a shift administratively.
Aristotle, anything?
Yeah, what they said.
Fair enough. Let's actually continue to expand on that point regarding the budget. Of course, one of the few areas of true financial control SGA has is in salaries for committee chairs and executives, now that regular senators do not receive a salary. Of course, for executives, that is around about $3,000 a year. And of course, in light of recent budget cuts made to club budgets, how do you feel about executive salaries? Should they be decreased? Should they exist at all? Where's your position?
I got a lot of thoughts on this one. If the people doing the work, whatever work SGA does do, aren't getting paid at all, and the president, vice president, are the secretary and treasurer included in those salaries? They also make $3,000 a year?
I believe so.
So that's $12,000 a year that could be going to clubs, to fund trips, fund whatever clubs need, and not going into the pocket of just whoever won a popularity contest, essentially. They're not using that money efficiently when it could be going to help the people who put them there.
And before Anderson, I would like to point out that the incoming treasurer and secretary ran unopposed in their races, so essentially they signed up to receive $3,000.
And
Correct.
Yeah. No, I would like to co-sign a lot of what Aristotle said. And the most frustrating part for me personally is the fact that none of this was ever put up to a vote for the Senate as a whole. We just got our salaries taken away, and exec just decided that they were going to keep their salaries. That's something I don't think is fair. I do understand the viewpoint that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time to put into SGA, almost as much as a part-time or even full-time job that some people who do work jobs might not be able to do if they didn't get paid. But at the very least, I think it should have been put up to a vote for the Senate. There should have been more deliberation and decision making at a democratic level on that.
Carter?
I agree fully. I mean, I fully acknowledge the amount of work that goes into these positions. I've known people in almost every exec position. It's time consuming, it's hard stuff. But they signed up for that. And they knew that when they ran, and they knew that after they were elected, and they knew that every step of the process. And a lot of the senators out there, especially there's different levels of engagement, but a lot of these people are putting in 5-6 hours a week. And that week after week with no pay now it's going to be hard, absolutely. So I think a reasonable solution would be taking money away from some of those executives, not completely, obviously, because they're putting in a lot of work, I understand that, but still allowing the Senate body to be paid for these incredibly involved positions would be good, but the majority of that I do think should go back to the student body.
And of course there's always the consideration of, is there too much work being done at the executive level for what SGA actually does, which is mainly just allocate money to student organizations and then provide resources for events? Some might wonder if they're, in a sense, tripping over their own feet. However, let's move on now to the more lighthearted story of the week. The Four Nations face-off held in Boston and Montreal last week. US, Canada, Sweden, and Finland, but of course stars of the show were Teams USA and Canada. Carter, you are in the jersey. Talk to us about that.
I personally, I don't know anything about hockey or Team USA. No, I'm kidding. No, it was really exciting to watch. I think a lot of people were shocked to see America able to compete on this world stage, especially when Canada's usually been fairly dominant overall here. I think a lot of people didn't realize we could play hockey. Hey, there you go. So I think a lot of people were excited, and I think it was a well-fought match both times.
Anderson, any quick thoughts about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I also think it's kind of interesting to look at the geopolitical dynamics that are playing out. Obviously, there was the whole back and forth on X, formerly known as Twitter, with Justin Trudeau and Donald Trump as far as comments about Canada becoming the 51st state. You had, I believe, a regiment of musicians from the military singing a song that was explicitly anti-monarchist in front of Donald Trump after comments of him referring to himself as a king were very widespread. So the political dynamics are also very interesting here, and hockey has been a realm for that in the past as well.
Aristotle,
Yeah.
Any last sentence?
No, I think that hockey's pretty cool though.
There you go. And at the end of the day, all of the players had fun, while their leaders and voters and supporters bickered over silly little things and funny songs. I'm sure there's a story to be found there somewhere, but I'm a journalist. What would I know about that? Until next week, I'm Hunter Lynn.
Aristotle Orsini.
Anderson Bell.
And I'm Carter Hockey Reed.
We'll see you next time.
Hi, and welcome back to the weather. Today's going to be coming to a close at a high of around 72, which feels almost wrong to say after the blizzard we had last week. But this warm weather will be continuing throughout the rest of the week. Clear skies, highs floating around the mid-50s to low 70s. So really, things are going to be looking pretty solid for the rest of the week. Moving into the start of next week, we do have a chance of some scattered showers over here on Monday. That's pretty low, as well as a slight chance of thunderstorms Sunday night. There is going to be a slightly increasing chance of severe weather as we move early into next week, looking Tuesday, Wednesday area. That's going to be driven a little bit by some moisture coming up by the Gulf, as well as something we're going to go look at in our GFS model in just a second. Looking now at the 925 millibar map for our relative humidity, we can see a good amount of moisture. This is Sunday of this coming week, coming up from the Gulf of TUTV here. Going to be settling over the Great Plains here, which will be setting up a little bit of instability ahead of potentially a solid trough moving through in the coming days. So that will set up a chance of severe weather next week, around Tuesday, maybe into early Wednesday. That could drive a slight tornado risk with that, just given the relative instability and warmth out ahead of that cold front moving through. Now, it's a little bit early to be making any sweeping predictions, but most models do tend to be trending towards that trough coming through. So I'm confident to say that there will be some sort of storm outbreak, but it's still hard to say how widespread that's going to be. We're now going to be seeing a lot more of this in the future with warmer weathers and this setup that we kind of see through the spring. We are now going to be moving into the start of tornado season. So be excited for that. The TUTV weather team will hopefully be doing some chases for that. So look forward to seeing you soon. This has been your weather.
Welcome back to the desk, this time for everyone's favorite segment, sports. I'm Bruce Bigler.
And I'm Carter Reed.
And we got plenty to get to, so let's go ahead and jump right on into it.
Tulsa's men's basketball team added 2 more losses to their conference record, failing to improve their fortunes in the final stretch of the regular season. Tulsa traveled to Denton to face off against the North Texas Mean Green on Wednesday. In this matchup, Jared Garcia led the team in scoring, totaling 14 points. No individual on the team was able to reach double digits in points, however. North Texas shot down Tulsa's offensive capabilities, giving them a 63-44 loss. Tulsa then again hit the road, this time to face the Rice Owls. Keaston Willis and Tyshawn Archie led the team in scoring with 14 and 13 points respectively, but were unable to overcome a well-rounded Rice squad. 3 Rice players, Trey Broadnax, Jimmy Olatukun Jr., and Kellen Amos, recorded double-digit scoring performances. Tulsa was ultimately defeated, falling to the Owls 50-71. Tulsa will look to rebound from this week's setbacks and end the season on a high note as they prepare to host Tulane on Saturday.
TU women's basketball is entering the final stretch of the regular season on a 2-game winning streak, defeating both of their opponents last week and improving their record to 14-13. The Lady Golden Hurricane faced a spiraling team from the Tulane Green Wave, extending their losing streak by 1 game after a 73-54 victory in front of the home crowd. Maddie Cartwright had her best game of the season thus far, bolstering TU's effort by making 8 out of 15 shot attempts and sinking 5 3-pointers, recording 23 points for the game. TU's matchup against the UAB Blazers in Birmingham turned into an overtime thriller when the Lady Golden Hurricane edging out a 4-point victory. After only scoring 16 points in the first half to UAB's 33, TU rallied in the second half to score 44 points. Hadley Perriman made a key game-tying layup with 9 seconds on the clock, bringing the Blazers to overtime. Tulsa went on to outscore the Blazers 12-8 to win the game 72-68. Delaney Crawford led the team in scoring, putting 23 points on the board. Hadley Perriman also played a key role in shutting down the Blazers' offense, recording 11 defensive rebounds, her best defensive performance of the season. The Tulsa women will host South Florida on Wednesday as they look to finish the season out strong.
TU's 2 most recent former football coaches, Kevin Wilson and Philip Montgomery, recently landed jobs at notable programs around the country, bringing their experience at Tulsa to the Oklahoma Sooners and Virginia Tech Hokies. Kevin Wilson, who was fired following Tulsa's disastrous 2024 season, has returned to the Oklahoma Sooners. Wilson served as a defensive coordinator for the Sooners from 2006 to 2010 and will work now with Brett Venables as an offensive analyst. This hire is expected to bring much-needed experience to turn an Oklahoma team which saw a number of struggles on the offensive side of the ball. Philip Montgomery, Wilson's predecessor, coached the Golden Hurricane from 2015 to 2022, reaching 1 conference championship game and 4 bowl games during his tenure. Following his tenure at Tulsa, Montgomery worked as an offensive coordinator for the Auburn Tigers and the UFL's Birmingham Stallions. Montgomery will now work as the offensive coordinator for the Virginia Tech Hokies as the team looks to improve on their 7-6 record from the 2024 season.
The Tulsa Oilers hosted a 2-game series against the Wheeling Nailers over the weekend, with each team claiming a win in the matchup. In their Friday game, Tulsa scored early, with Tyler Polson putting a point on the board and recording his 13th goal of the season in the first minutes of the game. Justin Michaelian and Reed Petrick would all but seal the game in the second period, with each scoring a goal. Wheeling's offense was unable to overcome Tulsa's defensive efforts and was shut out 3-0 to end the game. The script was soon flipped on the Oilers in their Saturday game, however, when Wheeling scored 2 goals in the first period. Despite Tulsa's 18 shots on the goal in the second period, Wheeling was able to hold on to their lead to claim a 2-0 shutout win. The Oilers continue to improve their conference resume, holding their 4th place spot in the ECHL's Western Conference. Tulsa will travel to face the Wichita Thunder this Friday before returning home over the weekend to face off against the Utah Grizzlies. A big week in sports. I hate to say, I don't think many TU students were too involved in all of that between the snow days and just getting back into school.
Not much.
Yeah, pretty tough, but I'm hoping that as spring kind of ramps up and as it gets warmer outside that we get more involved.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, playing Frisbee outside, you know.
Come on.
That's what you
Hopefully winning a basketball game or two. We'll see.
Crossed, man.
Fingers crossed for real. Maybe even making it into March Madness this year.
I'd say we're going all the way.
I say we're going all the
That's
way.
my bold prediction.
Yeah, middle of the bracket. I think I'm going to win that $1 billion with my money on TU.
Yep, that sounds solid. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, stay tuned for that big old win. TUTV studio getting an upgrade, hopefully, with that cash flow. So, but until then, stay updated. Please come back and hear us next week for the most exciting sports updates. I'm Bruce Bigler.
And I'm Carter Reed.
Thanks for tuning in.
Last Friday, several of TU's multicultural organizations collaborated for the Lunar New Year Festival, bringing the Tulsa community together at the LPC with an impressive turnout. Plenty of tofu and stir-fry were available free for TU students, plus tables upstairs with a variety of games and activities. The festival also featured a slew of performances by KSA, VSA, and even TU Media Studies major Michael Tran. In between performances, trivia games and raffle drawings were held with fun prizes for the lucky winners. Overall, the festival was a resounding success, bringing students and families from across Tulsa together to celebrate the Lunar New Year with food, fun, and music.
You did it. You stuck around to the end of the show. And now you get to learn that no, thunderstorms are not, in fact, UFOs.
That's good. I was worried that you were going to divulge the secret there for a second.
Wink.
Do we have like a fun raffle or something to keep viewers interested?
Yeah, so actually, they're going to do all of this. Right, Steven? So right here, we're going to have Subway Surfers just above my head. Over here is going to be like Reddit stories.
Don't forget the stock ticker on the bottom.
Yep, and then right here in the middle is going to be one of those videos of like the GTA cars driving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, and because my face is covered, I'll actually be playing Fortnite behind, the whole time.
Yes.
Behind all of the graphics.
And you'll be able to see that as well. They're going to chroma key out all of the blue in the background and replace it with his Fortnite gameplay.
Yeah, or at the very least, that's what we'll be doing for our next show when we finally figure out how to engage you, our dear, lovely, and well-respected viewers. Speaking of things that are well-respected, the Lunar New Year Festival, a great time.
Yeah.
Great performances, great food, great atmosphere. Another successful, I would say, multicultural event here at TU. What do you think?
Yeah.
Did you go?
No, but it looked pretty cool in the package.
It did. I also did not go.
All right. Well, they're telling me that that's unacceptable, and they're going to drag us off stage if we don't end it soon. We'll see you next week, folks.
Maybe from prison. Who knows?